It's been a double dose of Altuve and Springer combined with a fuel-injected pitching staff that has propelled the Astros to 15 wins in May. But it was an adrenaline shot from Grossman and VR that chopped down the Orioles and gave Houston their 7th win in a row. Today, the American League Player of the Week takes the mound, looking to ace the Orioles and snag an 8th straight win. Will there be more dancing in Astroland? We're about to find out. Live from Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas, CSN Houston brings you Houston Astros baseball. Today it's Game 3 of a 4-game series. The Astros take on the Baltimore Orioles. Good afternoon, everybody. Bill Brown along with Alan Ashby and Julia Morales watching the Astros win 7 games in a row. Now on the closing day of May, they already have secured a winning record for this month, Ash.
Some fun stuff we've been witnessing right now with the ball club. It obviously is a bit contagious here in the city. Houston fans are coming out to the ballpark. 38,000 was it last night? So a lot of fun to see this taking place.
And they've seen a number of stars here in the month of May, including Jose Altuve and George Springer at the top of the order.
These guys have made it happen. These have been the offensive run makers. Jose Altuve has just had a phenomenal month. 369, the on base at 405 as he's gotten so much better now in terms of drawing some walks. He's hit everything in sight. This guy has just been amazing and playing great defense. And then there's George Springer. Wow, having this guy come on, it's been a revelation. 10 home runs on the month while hitting 306. Look at the slugging percentage. 673 on the month. That says a lot. That was the game winner from a couple of nights ago from George Springer. And this guy is creating a massive amount of excitement here in Houston.
Those two have had a lot to do with the Astros' 15-13 record in May, but the pitching has gotten better and better as the month has moved along, and Dallas Keuchel's the starter today.
Make no mistake, because the ball club in the last handful of days hasn't scored a whole lot. The pitching has been great. Dallas Keuchel has been the leader of the staff. Dallas Keuchel 4-0 in his last 4, and it started with a game back in Detroit against the very good offensive Detroit Tigers club. He's just moved on through Texas and others since then. Seattle on that list. Dallas Keuchel creating more ground balls than any other pitcher in the league, and he's been successful with those. It's been no fluke the way he has kept the pitches down in the strike zone, around the knees, under the knees. That slider has been a big strikeout weapon. He changes angles on that pitch. He's got a changeup, and he is exciting for everybody on the club, including his teammates. It's fun to play behind a guy like this. He'll spot that fastball well. He'll just devour left-hand hitters. Dallas Keuchel is the real deal right now.
So 4-0 in his last 4 starts, a 1.05 ERA, giving him Player of the Week honors in the American League last week.
Those numbers tell you a whole lot. 105. You can go back, throw out his first start of the year and take everything since. His ERA is 2.19, could be better, minus a couple of runs scored against him in what would have been a complete game shutout in Anaheim had he just gotten an out on the ground ball hit by Mike Trout. It didn't work out that way, but nothing fluky about these numbers right now.
Coming up, Super Sub. It's been the year of Altuve, but one of the Astros' hottest hitters is a guy who had a major fight on his hands just to earn his job back in the spring. Julia Morales tells us more about this Astros Super Sub when we come back. Comcast Sportsnet's presentation of Houston Astros baseball is presented by Jack in the Box. Head to Jack in the Box and try the new Jack's Blazin' Chicken Sandwich. It's Jack's hottest sandwich yet.
Astros and Orioles face off in just a couple of minutes. The Astros go for their 8th straight win and their 3rd straight win over the Orioles. Bo Porter changing up the lineup just a little bit today, but hoping that doesn't change anything with their winning ways. It's giving Mark Krause and Marwin Gonzalez both a chance to play. Marwin Gonzalez has really stepped up, though, when his name has been called. He's had 3 days off after 3 straight starts at shortstop, and great month of May for this guy. This month, batting .324, he scored 5 runs, but recently just swinging a hot bat, had a career-high 4-hit night in Kansas City. Might have been overlooked on a night where George Springer was really good. And then in his last 3, he's 6 for 12, slugging .583. He told me the key recently for him has just been watching how lefties are pitched in front of him. Guys like Robbie Grossman, Alex Presley, studying that. That way he has a better approach at the plate. Also defensively, the Astros really counting on Marwin to fill in at short, third, and left field. So he's trying to stay sharp today. Took some extra grounders at short. That's where he'll be against the Orioles. Coming up, the American League Player of the Week is just average, according to one Major League manager. Can Dallas Keuchel stymie the Orioles and earn more respect around the league? He'll get his chance. Lineups and first pitch next.
Here in Houston and at Minute Maid Park, here's the Buck Showalter Baltimore Orioles lineup card. Nick Markakis, right field, 5-game hitting streak. Steve Pearce, left field. Nelson Cruz, DH. Adam Jones, the cleanup man, in center. Chris Davis at first. J.J. Hardy at short. Manny Machado at third base. Jonathan Scope at second. And Caleb Joseph batting 9th and 10th.
Dallas Keuchel on the hill for the Astros. Yes, he's the guy that is the current player of the week in the American League, and deservedly so. His last 4 starts, 4-0 in that span. Of course, that goes beyond the player of the week margin, but 3 starts in which he was 1 out shy of 3 complete games in a row. Absolutely phenomenal stuff. A whip that's under the 1 mark. Look at the hits under the innings. Just dominating hitters and getting more ground balls than anybody else that goes to the hill in the major leagues. Almost 4-to-1 the ratio ground ball to fly ball.
What a great year he has underway with that 6-2 record, the 6th best ERA in the American League. And now trying to extend this Astros winning streak, which has been based on very solid pitching. The Astros staff ERA since May 11th is 2.53. And Keuchel's been a big part of that. So now against the Orioles and Markakis, he faces this Baltimore club for the 2nd time in his career. And he won the earlier start against them. Markakis on a 5-game hitting streak has a .299 batting average, 3 homers and 18 runs batted in for Nick, with the .348 on base average. During his 5-game hitting streak, he's hit .364. And he goes for the first pitch, and there's strike one. Markakis opened the game with a hit in the opener of this series Thursday night, and he got a hit the last time up in the 8th inning in yesterday's game. You see the important numbers on Keuchel with the groundouts. The infielders come with their gloves ready to go to work when he's on the mound. There's a quick tempo as well, Ash.
Tempo is fantastic, and we've talked about that 3.88 to 1 ground ball to fly ball ratio. He throws strikes early, and I think that's the reason Nick Markakis walked up and was ready to hack on that first fastball.
This one is driven to left field. Robbie Grossman back, playing it off the wall on a short hop. He'll throw into second base. Markakis with the slide and safe. Good short hop play by Altuve, but Markakis gets the safe call from Mike Muchlinski on an opening double.
I think that smile on the face of Jose Altuve says, I believe I got him. And it has brought Bo Porter out toward the field. He's taking his time. But we may see a review on this one.
Let's take a look.
Very good throw by Robbie Grossman. And we will get our peek right here. It was close at the bag in full speed. Does Altuve get it down? It appears he does. I don't know from that angle if you can change things, but boy, get that glove down fast. Don't reach. He's out, and that should be reversed there, in my opinion.
Well, the umpires are keeping their position, so evidently there's not been a challenge on this by Bo Porter.
Bo has come back to the dugout. I feel like that was very reviewable.
So it's a leadoff double, and Markakis gets his 11th of the year. Steve Pearce is the batter. That's ball one.
Watch as this tag comes down. It's really not so much down as reach, but he's out.
Yep.
And to me, that would be fully reversible.
Like the umpire was blocked out by Altuve. 2-0, but the manager, gets information from the video room, and he's told, hey, it's worth challenging. We don't know, but apparently that information was not forthcoming in that direction for him, or he would have done it. But it's tough to use up that challenge on the very first play of the game, and then if he doesn't get it overturned, no more challenges.
And yet, after a leadoff double in the first inning, you don't want to fall behind. That leadoff double portends good things offensively for a club. That would be a great one to get turned.
It would. Leadoff double, take the man off base, get one out.
This is that look in from behind that maybe second base umpire gets. Now you can understand from that angle why you might call it safe.
I think Muchlinski got caught a little bit out of position on that. Bouncer right side, and now Krause took a look at third, but he'll take the out at first. He might have had a shot, but he took the sure out on Pearce from 3-1. Markakis to third.
See a lot of guys take that look, but do they really intend on making that throw? You have to have commitment before the ground ball comes your way. You got to go now that you're going to make the throw, and I think he could have, with a good throw, gotten his out.
It looked that way. It's out number one, runner to third base, and hot hitting Nelson Cruz, who leads the American League in OPS at 1,028. Also leads in homers with 19 and runs batted in with 49 and has a 308 average. Infielders play back. Cruz has been crushing the ball. There's ball one. He has had a marvelous month of May. In his 11-game hitting streak, he's hit .450 with 7 homers, 12 runs batted in. Good cut there, makes it a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
He saw that changeup well, waited extremely well, and had the good hack, just fouled it back.
Cruz is 3 for 8 with an RBI in this series. The Orioles have not done much hitting in this series. They lost 3-1 Thursday night, 2-1 yesterday. Deep drive to right center field will get the run home. Fowler on the run. Springer there. Fowler lopes over and makes the grab, and the runner waltzes home to make it 1-0 on a sac fly by Cruz, giving him his 50th run batted in as Markakis scores.
Well, there's that run on the board, and team that scores first percentage-wise wins a good part of the time. Yeah, that would have been an ideal double to take away. A little better communication between Fowler and Springer than we've seen at times.
Yeah, they ran together a couple of nights ago. Fowler, as you could see, was calling all the way. Springer ducked out of the way of it. Now Adam Jones is preparing to step in. Jones with 6 homers, 29 runs batted in, has a .288 batting average, and he has killed left-handed pitching to the tune of .449, best in the majors. And strike one to Jones.
There's that inside corner work that Keuchel is so good at.
He's working quickly. Now off the outside edge. It goes to 1-1 on Jones, who's 2 for 8 in this series. The Orioles have lost 4 in a row. That one goes into the seats, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Defensively for the Astros behind Keuchel this afternoon, Robbie Grossman, Dexter Fowler, and George Springer in the outfield left to right. On the left side of the infield, Matt Dominguez and Marwin Gonzalez getting the start at shortstop. On the right side, Jose Altuve and Mark Krausnitz, Jason Castro behind the plate.
Keuchel bounces one. 2 balls, 2 strikes. You and Jeff Plum did some talking on the last road trip about Keuchel throwing that breaking ball down to the right foot of a right-handed hitter. Jeff talked about how difficult it is to pick that pitch up.
And you could see even on this one that Adam Jones started the bat, just had the ability to hold it back, but that's a big strikeout weapon.
Bouncer hangs up there for Matt Dominguez, and it's 1 run, 1 hit. The Orioles execute, and they take the early lead. Top of the first now. The Astros lineup card is brought to you by Jack in the Box. This club averaging 4.4 runs per game in May. Leading off with Jose Altuve. He's put together a 9-game hitting streak. He's at second base with George Springer following in right field. Dexter Fowler bats third, playing center. The cleanup man is catcher Jason Castro. With third baseman Matt Dominguez, first baseman Mark Krause, DH Alex Presley, left fielder Robbie Grossman, shortstop Marwin Gonzalez, rounding out the card.
26-year-old right-hander Chris Tillman goes to the hill for the O's. He's 4-2, 4.97 the ERA. No decisions in his last 2 starts. One of those lasting just 1 inning, allowing 7 hits and 8 earned runs. Allowed 6 earnings in his last start, that at Milwaukee. So the last 2 would not say a whole lot of confidence going for Tillman right now. And the road numbers, 4-0 with a 620. How do you put that together?
He's had a lot of run support in those starts, as you can see. On his end, not too good. With a 9.82 ERA in the first inning of his games this year. He's had a rough time getting deep lately. Jose Altuve Hoping that trend continues. Takes high, ball 1. Altuve leads the league in hits with 77. And up to 324 with the 9-game hitting streak. 2 homers, 17 runs batted in. He scored 30 runs. He shoots one and is deflected by Tillman over to second. Jonathan Scope with the play, a 1-4-3, out number 1.
Defensively for these Orioles this afternoon, in the outfield left to right, Steve Pearce, Adam Jones, and Nick Markakis, who is awfully good out there. Infield left side, Manny Machado, J.J. Hardy. On the right side, Jonathan Scope, who just made that play. Chris Davis, and behind the plate, Caleb Joseph.
Good throwing catcher, Caleb Joseph. George Springer had an 11-game hitting streak. That was snapped in last night's game. There is strike 1 to Springer. Springer has been the rampage among rookies in the month of May. 261, 10 homers, 29 runs batted in. A 306 hitter in the month of May, though. And the breaking ball is grounded to the left of the third sacker. And Manny Machado takes care of out number 2. Good defensive team here. Baltimore has the lowest error total in the American League, 25, leads in fielding percentage, and Machado, even though he's made 6 errors, is fantastic at third base.
Very gifted young man that was a shortstop prior to being needed by the Orioles at third, and boy, has he filled in rather nicely.
Now Dexter Fowler. Fowler leads all players in walks in May, 255, 3 homers, 16 runs batted in. And upstairs, Tillman falling behind 1-0 on Fowler. Fowler's 0 for 6 in this series. Tillman was a second-round draft choice, falling behind here 2-0. And he was the opening day starter this year for Baltimore. Fowler with the foul ball takes the count to 2 balls, 1 strike. Chris, 26 years old, from Anaheim, California. Drafted in the second round in 06 by Seattle. Traded to Baltimore in 08 in the Eric Bedard deal. He beat the Astros, or he lost to the Astros in Baltimore May 11th. It's 2-2. He's had those first inning problems we talked about, a 9.82 ERA in the first inning of all of his games, and that included a Jason Castro 3-run homer in the first when he lost to Houston in Baltimore, the first 3 men scoring in that ball game. And then he slammed the door after that. Rolled out to second to Scope. This time it's a 1-2-3 first, and it took him 9 pitches. 1-0 Baltimore after 1.
Time for you to tweet your photos using hashtag CSNHFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming broadcast. It's brought to you by AT&T. And a reminder, your Twitter account, if it's set to private, make sure it's set to public so we can see your tweet. Dallas Keuchel back to work, who just recently was told he received the AL Player of the Week award, and his first call was to his dad. His dad's response, what you expect? He said, "You get a watch." Dallas laughed and said, "I had no idea I got a watch." But his dad definitely keeps up with it. You can tell those two are close. And Bo Porter talking about his pitcher today, saying he really likes how Dallas is handling the hype that's around him. No change in how he prepares or how he does things. And guys, he even busted out "ignore the noise" today. We haven't heard Bo say that in a while.
No. 1-0 Baltimore. Chris Davis leads it off.
I kind of like the extra noise we're hearing at the ballpark these days.
That's ball 1 to Davis. 237, 7 homers, 25 runs batted in. Chris hits a ground ball to Kraus. Keuchel. 1 out. 107 ground ball outs, leading the American League. That's the figure Dallas Keuchel brought into this game today. 6 wins here with a chance for number 7 before May ends later tonight. The best victory total by an Astros pitcher since Roy Oswalt had 6 wins through May of 07. Roger Clemens was 7-0 through May of 04. Dallas with a shot at equaling that victory total. J.J. Hardy faces him next. And that is strike 1. Andy Fletcher's the home plate umpire. 297 for Hardy. No homers. He's driven in 14.
Nothing at all different for Keuchel here this afternoon. Pumping strikes early and
off the glove of Dominguez, diving. It goes into foul ground. Hardy turns for second. Here's the throw from the shortstop. Marwin Gonzalez not in time, and that's the second double of the game for the Orioles.
Extra base hits had not come at in bunches anyway for the opposition hitters against Keuchel until today. I wonder what Matt would say here. Looked like that hit the top, the pinky portion of that glove.
He was fully extended. 12th double of the year for Hardy. He's aboard for Machado. Machado with 2 homers, 5 runs batted in, is hitting .210. Bounces one high to Kraus. Runner advancing, 2 outs. Now with 1 out, it's totally different. Not that he had to play at third, because he really didn't, but with nobody out, it would be a great play to get that out at third base on a ball like that.
Now when you're heading to the bag to get the second out of the inning, you're going to take that one.
Jonathan Scope is the batter. 219, 5 homers, 17 runs batted in for Scope. Keuchel with ball 1. These two pitchers have gone totally different directions in the first inning of their games. Keuchel had allowed just 1 first inning run in the last 5 starts before today. Little chop brings in Dallas. Castro, though, to play it. On to Kraus. No runs, a hit, and a man left. That's a 7-pitch inning, and it's 1-0 Baltimore. Here on a cloudy day at Minute Maid Park in downtown Houston. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in today's game. It's brought to you by Miller Lite. Roof is closed with the rain in the area. That was quite a game last night. The civil rights game, everything that went with it. A lot of dignitaries in Houston, and some glowing remarks about the entire day and the way the city of Houston was able to put on that ball game.
And you put on a ball game with that many folks in the seats. It was really refreshing. It was exciting, quite frankly, to see the fans react now the way they have over 3 days, 3 ball games here with the Orioles in town. Fans coming out to see what's going on with this suddenly exciting Astros club.
38,482 that paid attendance last night. They saw a thriller. Now it's Jason Castro leading it off in the home second. 229 for Jason. 6 homers. He's driven in 25. Tillman had a 9-pitch first inning. This one, a shot toward the left field corner. It's slicing. It's going to stay fair and into that corner. And Castro is heading for second. Here's a throw from Pierce. It's a double for Castro, number 8 of the year. Jumped on that first pitch from Tillman.
Well, there's your leadoff double. Now, Matt Dominguez comes to the plate. Last night it was Chris Carter, and the job didn't get done. As you see, Jason Castro do what he does so well. That pitch away, he'll drive it away. But with Matt Dominguez coming to the plate, Matt is actually quite good at putting balls on the right side if you leave it out over the plate.
He drove a double to the right side in the 7th inning last night and scored. There's strike one, and that was the 7th inning when the Astros came up trailing 1-0 and got 2 runs.
Numbers in the month of May: 123 runs scored, 7th, so they're right in the heart of the league. Most of the numbers would say this is an average offense right now, which is a whole lot better than where they started the year.
A lot better. Oh, they were in the doldrums.
Just about every category you could look at said last place. And it's been a hard grind getting away from those early numbers, but they're doing it.
They're still tied for last in the American League in runs scored, but in May, much, much better. That one hit him on 0-2. And this has been the problem with Tillman, lack of command this year.
Well, that sets it up for a left-hand hitting Mark Krause now to somehow move runners. You can't do it with the ground ball anymore because it's likely a double play, but Matty D takes this one like a man.
Sure did. Second time Matt has been hit by a pitch, and that's only the second hit batter for Tillman this season. Mark Krause has this opportunity now. Mark playing for the first time in this series. 178, 4 homers, 14 runs batted in.
I wonder if Matt's going to say, it's on, it's war.
No. Not like Big Papi.
Big Papi, not real happy with David Price right about now.
Not at all. They really got into it last night. Mark Krause has not played the last 3 games. And looks at that one for a strike. It's 1-1. He went 3 for 8 with a homer in the series in Baltimore earlier this season. Bo Porter saying that he wanted to get Krause and Marwin Gonzalez into this lineup today. The Orioles will be pitching a lefty tomorrow, and he'll go back to his right-handed hitting lineup for that game. That's a chopper to the right side and foul. And it's 1-2. Let's take a look at last night's game.
There's the fastball from David Price, and that gets a lot of Big Papi. And that's a lot to get. And suddenly everybody starts getting ejected in this ball game. John Farrell and a couple of his coaches got ejected. John Farrell not very happy about the decision making right here.
Troy Lobola got thrown out. Krause fights it off and stays in there 1-2. So yeah, Big Papi is thrown down the gauntlet. He said, well, the next time Price had better bring his gloves.
What, like infield and outfield?
No ski mittens.
Yeah, the cold weather equipment. Because you never know what might happen in Tampa Bay.
That's right. A lot of slopes around there. Fouled away, and Krause keeps the count at 1-2. Bo Porter really emphasizing that he wants players to play every few days. So thought it was very important to play Krause and Marwin Gonzalez in this game, because tomorrow with Wei Yin Chen going, the lefty, they will not be in the lineup, and Monday's a day off for the Astros. Ground ball, and there's a diving play by Davis. He tosses over to first, and Tillman's there for out number one. Both runners advancing on the 3-1 play. Excellent play by Davis.
Well, it's just like laying down a sacrifice bunt, so if you like that type of play, this probably suits you. And now a chance to pick up not only one, but maybe a couple here in this second inning.
Scope could have made that play, but once Davis went for it, it became the first baseman's ball. So the ground out brings up Presley now with runners at second and third. And Presley, with 3 homers and 8 runs batted in, gets this opportunity at 2:46 to make an impact. Infield plays it back, except for Machado at third. He's well off the line. Presley was the starter at DH last night. He went 1 for 3, and again today he gets this DH start, his third at DH this year. Fouling it for strike one.
It's not your classic DH by any stretch, but he's a contact guy, and sometimes contact is what you need. In fact, right now, hitting it back up the middle, contact will get you a run to get even in the game.
Last time out, Tillman really ran into problems at Milwaukee on Monday, giving up 7 hits and 6 earned runs in 5 2/3 innings. His last 2 starts, his ERA is 18.90. Fouled away. No balls, 2 strikes. He is, though, an effective pitcher when things are working well. And last year for Baltimore, he won 16 and lost 7 with a 3.71 ERA, and that included 206 innings of work for Tillman. Showalter's rotation really slumping with a 5.52 starting pitching ERA on this road trip. They're 1 and 4. Whoa, that was weird. A hit batter on a pitch that was probably clocked about 70 miles per hour.
It got away from Rip Sewell right here.
Goodness. Another 0-2 pitch hitting a batter.
Yeah, I imagine Buck's not real pleased right here. It looked like the front foot, at least it kind of became the excuse for Tillman right there. Something went wrong with cleats and mound, but you know, if you got to get hit by a pitch, that might be your ultimate chance.
Is that like a wiffle ball?
Kind of. I don't think you're going to get any attention from the trainer.
That was strange.
Let's see what happened. Something happened in landing there. I don't know if he caught a cleat, if he slipped when landing, but clearly that became the focus of Tillman after throwing this rather ugly pitch.
Now bases loaded, 1 out for Robbie Grossman, who had a big hit in last night's game. First career at bat with the bases loaded in the big leagues. Last night he drove in a run with a double to left and later scored the eventual winning run. That one is strike one.
Well, you get the bases loaded and the first pitch fastball. That's jump on it time for most guys with men in scoring position. Yeah. It looked like the front left foot landed okay, but that was where Tillman's focus seemed to go after falling off the mound.
Grossman looks it over, and it's a 1-1 count. Robbie is 1 for 7 with an RBI in this series. Just returned from AAA. Astros a runner at third. It's Dominguez at second and Presley at first. It's 1-2. The Astros as a team certainly have struggled in bases loaded hitting situations this year. Bill Porter would love to see Grossman come through. As a team, they're hitting 200 with 3 men on base. Marwin Gonzalez on deck. Way up, and it's 2-2. This 7-game winning streak for the Astros is their longest since 2010. And that was the last season they had a winning full month. They were 14-13 in September of 2010. Little chopper up the line, and it's going to be a fair ball and an infield hit and an RBI for Robbie Grossman, tying the game.
Really question the judgment of Tillman on this play, because he had a chance to get an out, and that would have been a key second out in the inning. But instead, the inning just keeps moving along for the Astros. Now a chance for another big swing opportunity. Well, that ball was in the grass. Tillman could have picked it up, and it would have gotten an out easily at first base. But again, I think that was poor judgment on that play. Go ahead and cough up one run if you must, but now chance for the big inning.
1-1 game. Grossman gets RBI number 8. Bases loaded for Marwin Gonzalez. He's a 300 hitter. Marwin takes it, and it's ball 1 to the switch hitting shortstop. 1 homer and 3 runs batted in. Gonzalez has a 3-game hitting streak, going 6 for 12 in his last 3 starts. Jonathan VR was one of the big hitters in last night's game. He had the RBI double that accounted for the go-ahead and eventual winning run in the 7th inning. VR has switched his uniform number. He was number 6. Now he's lost 4 digits, down to number 2.
2 is a much better hitting number, apparently. Stan Musial might disagree.
2 balls, no strikes. It works pretty well for Derek Jeter.
Yeah. Major League short. Maybe that's the number for the Major League shortstop now.
2 balls, no strikes with Altuve on deck. Popped up. Machado backing on it. Hardy is calling behind him, and the infield fly rule is called. 2 outs. And that's a big one for Tillman now, though he faces Altuve. Altuve has just been collecting hits by the bucketfuls. He grounded out off the pitcher's glove in the 1st inning. Hit a screamer up the middle, deflected by Tillman. I haven't seen that yet.
That's nice. Need the little accent over the E.
Yeah. Jose is 10 for 21 against Baltimore this season.
In a month and a half, I think we should be saying Jose the All-Star.
Yeah. 179 with the bases loaded. That's strike 1. Been just a fabulous run here in the month of May. He's hit .369, 3rd best in the American League. Has 45 hits in the month of May alone. That's the 2nd highest hit total of all time for an Astro in May. He looks at a ball, and it's 1-1. Blue Jays are 14-5 since the 11th of May. The Astros are 3rd best in baseball at 13-6 in that period of time.
Keep in mind the Blue Jays had a 9-game winning streak.
Shot to right field. Markakis backing, and on the run, Markakis makes a tremendous catch to end the Astros 2nd inning and quiet the crowd after 1 run scores on 2 hits, 3 men left. It's 1-1 after 2.
HoustonTexas.com for all the stats you need as you watch this game take place. You can also vote for your player of the game, and your top choice gets shown on TV during Astros postgame live. That's in-game live at CSNHouston.com. Well, with the Astros playing so well on this 7-game winning streak, that brought about our Twitter question: what's the single biggest reason the Astros are on this winning streak? Tweet me at HoChanCSN with your best one reason, and please elaborate, because I'm reading the best tweets on TV. That's HoChanCSN. Guys, over to you.
Thanks, Howard. 1-1 ball game. Here's the third inning for Dallas Keuchel. And there's strike one. Hey, Howard, did you ever get your interview with Wei-Yin Chen?
I did, and Wei-Yin Chen's a great guy, and actually that interview, which is all in Mandarin Chinese, is on CSNHouston.com right now.
Caleb Joseph, 1 for 25. Goes for that one, rolls it out to shortstop. Marwin Gonzalez, number 1. Well, could you translate for us a little bit and cut to the Cliff's Notes version? Anything to report of interest for tomorrow's game?
Yeah, basically, Wei-Yin Chen's a big star in Taiwan. It basically goes Jeremy Lin and then him. You choose one or the other. They're the huge megastars over there. So now that he's in Houston right now, I decided to ask him about the Rockets, if he has an interest in the NBA, him being 6 feet tall, if he plays any basketball, what foods he misses in Taiwan, all that good stuff. He also evaluates his season so far, in which so far he leads the Orioles in wins. He has a 5-2 record. So that's all at CSNHouston.com. Bill?
A lot of stuff. Thank you. Nick Markakis takes strike one. He opened the game with a double to left.
I wonder how baseball translates in the two languages. Does it it hasn't been a long time staple, obviously, in Taiwan, so I don't know if they have all the slangs and the isms that we might have here.
Yeah, like Oppo.
Yeah. Drill this guy up and in before I pull the string on him.
Hang a picket fence.
Yeah.
1 ball and 2 strikes.
This guy can really rake, so I'm going to stay clear of him.
Can he hit the deuce? And a line shot to Marwin. Now number 2.
It was boldly hammered.
It was. Well, you know how things go when it's looking up for a team. Winning streak, a hot pitcher on the mound. Sometimes things just go that team's way.
I would say that's a big component of winning streaks. And when you have losing streaks, it's the reverse.
Yep. And you had Robbie Grossman's little roller staying fair.
Exactly.
To score the tying run.
Yep.
Steve Pearce, the batter. There's ball 1. Brent Strom, the pitching coach, talks about Dallas Keuchel using his legs a little bit more this year. He has a sitting effect. He's loading up his glute. And then he comes up.
I want to hear that in Mandarin.
Something you probably do about 10 o'clock every morning to get ready for the ball game that night, Ash.
Well, if you're talking about rolling out of that bed, maybe that does come into play. I'm not sure.
Well, there's the best ERA since May 11th in the majors. 2.53 for Brent Strom's Astros pitching staff. So whether you're loading up the glute or doing it in some other fashion, the numbers are very, very good. As of a couple of starts ago, Dallas Keuchel's percentage ground ball rate on batted balls 67.7%, a major league high. Bouncing it up there. It goes to 2 balls, 2 strikes. And he's a hard worker who now is realizing the fruits of his labors down through the last couple of years, and his location is so much better than when he first came up.
But one of the things I've really enjoyed hearing from Dallas is that he hasn't changed anything from what he was doing last year. It's still the same pitcher on the hill. And I was glad to hear that, because I felt like a little bit of a lone voice last year saying, I like this guy. I like what I see of him on the mound. I felt like he had some really unfortunate innings that built up on him last year. But when it was all said and done, I thought, this guy can pitch. And he's doing it so far this year.
1 walk in his last 4 starts. It's 3 balls, 2 strikes to Steve Pearce. This was the first opening day roster made by Dallas Keuchel. as the number 5 starter. We're long 4-game winning streak right now for Dallas. He gets a strikeout on Pierce. Has a 1-2-3 third inning. First punch out of the day. Game stays tied at 1.
For your chance to win some Astros prizes. From autographed baseballs to game day tickets and more. Just tweet at CSN Houston, hashtag CSN Baseball Sweeps, and you could win Houston Astros prizes. It's the last day to do it, so tweet today. Ronnie?
All right, we better get that done. Thank you, Julia. It's 1-1. It is raining hard outside. We need some rain in this area, eh?
You know what? I'll take it when it comes, because there's going to be a dry spell, I have a feeling, coming up over the summer. Yes. Yeah, but we have had our share of rain here in the past couple of weeks.
A bunch. Probably up around 10 inches, aren't we now? George Springer, the batter. He grounded to third earlier on a breaking pitch from Chris Tillman. And that's an off-speed pitch at 81. Inside for ball 1. George has shown a good knowledge of the strike zone during this stretch of the last few weeks.
He's drawn 18 walks. Been quite effective.
Now he's ahead 2-0 in the count. Tillman's career record is 36-27. Big cut by Springer. 2 balls, 1 strike. He's given up 9 homers this year, 65 1/3 innings.
Springer might have overweighted this fastball. He's trying to, as he says, slow it down, and everybody tends to say now, but I think just to relax.
2-2. George Springer's 10 homers in May is tied for 3rd in Major League history for homers in the month of May by a rookie. Mark McGwire hit 10 homers during the month of May. Well, he hit 15, in fact, in May of '87. That's the tops for a rookie in the month of May. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Pretty good chance George will be rookie of the month, maybe, but we'll have to look at Abreu's numbers with the White Sox. He's been out for a while with an injury.
Yeah, and then there's Tanaka with the Yankees.
Well, that's true. Springer is rung up. And strikeout number 1 for Tillman. He didn't think so.
Well spotted fastball outside edge. And probably Tillman gets a little bit off the outside edge, but with a couple of strikes, it's on every hitter to make sure and protect there.
So Tillman in a 1-1 game punches out Springer, now faces Fowler. Fowler grounded out earlier. Tanaka is rated #1 by some of those who evaluate current candidates for Rookie of the Year in the AL. There's strike one. You got Jose Abreu, George Springer, Xander Bogaerts of Boston, Yordano Ventura, Kansas City. Those are 5 top contenders in the early going by one rating service for American League Rookie of the Year.
Astros recently gave it to Yordano.
They sure did. There's a sharp single to the right side by Fowler. It's hit #3 for the Astros, and Fowler's aboard for Castro now.
The guy who gets on base. It's what he does. Not a base thief once he gets out there, not a whole lot. But boy, he's been steady in terms of getting on.
373 on base average when this game started. Castro doubled to left. He came home to score on the Grossman infield hit. Got a pitch out over the plate on that double. They've been hammering him inside for weeks now. That one jams it. And a little looper out into shallow left field. Pierce is there for the catch for out #2.
I can see the scouts furiously riding right there. The fastball on the hands of Castro, and he still fought going the other way. It tied him up. But believe me, last year Castro showed pitchers that he can take that pitch and turn it to right. And I'm sure he's wishing he had been able to get the head out a bit more here.
Matt Dominguez comes up. He was hit by a pitch first time. Strike one to Matt. Matt's a .372 lifetime hitter against the Birds. Final game of the season series between the Astros and the Orioles will be tomorrow. 202 innings in a row without allowing a steal. Chris Tillman.
I'll tell you that Matt Wieters would have been a big part of that. Wieters, a very fine throwing catcher.
Joseph has thrown well, as indicated when he started last night also. In the dirt, he's taking off. Here's the throw, and it's not in time. Should be a wild pitch. Joseph scrambled for it, put a good throw down, but it was too late to get foul.
It's quick, nice footwork. He gets rid of the ball quickly. We mentioned yesterday that Matt Wieters did some throwing, and they're very happy about that fact. That's a very nice job by a catcher.
Second wild pitch of the year for Tillman. And now it's 1-2 on Dominguez. Could be an important bit of base running, and certainly Fowler was ready to turn on the Jets when he saw that pitch hit the dirt. Now the count goes to 2-2 on Dominguez. He can score from second, of course, on a 2-out hit now that he's moved into scoring position. And now that bounces ball 3. So Tillman gotten ahead of several of these hitters today. 0-2, and some bad things have happened. He hit Dominguez. He hit Presley. He was ahead of Dominguez 0-2 this time. Now it's 3-2. Astros have won 13 of 19. The Orioles have lost 13 of 19.
If you're Matt Dominguez, you have to be aware that with first base open, you could get any pitch in this one situation.
And he let it go for ball 4.
You can't just go dead red on that scenario at all. A nice job by Matt.
Tillman kind of got down in the follow through long after he threw that pitch. Not sure what that was about. Maybe he's trying to tell himself to finish the pitch. But at any rate, it looked a little unusual. That's his first walk of the day. And it'll be Mark Krause batting next. Krause bounced out to advance the runners to second and third, his first time up. Looking at this one, it's strike one to Mark. Blue Jays beat the Royals in Toronto 12-2. They got 7 in the first off Kansas City. Marcus Stroman won it. He's 2-0. Todd Redmond got save number 1. The Blue Jays bounced back after losing a couple to Kansas City in that series. They didn't hit a home run today. That's odd. Foul away, and it's 0-2.
That makes you feel like maybe some of the frontliners got a day off.
That's just really unusual if they're at home and not hitting a home run in a win in which they score a bunch of runs. 12. They had 14 hits today. Toronto currently holding down the top spot in the AL East. 2.5 ahead of New York. Baltimore's in third, 4.5 behind. The Orioles a game under 500. Krause stays alive at 0-2. A win today or tomorrow would give the Astros their 4th series win in the last 6 series. They haven't had an 8-game winning streak since 2008, late in the season. Krause is down on strikes. That ends the Astros' third with no runs a hit and 2 men stranded. It's 1-1.
Top of the 4th. Where's that guy going? Oh, well, let's follow him. All right, enjoy Father's Day picnic on the field in Minute Maid Park on June 15th after the 1:10 p.m. game against the Rays. Admission includes a game ticket, post-game picnic buffet in the outfield, autograph session, and much more. For tickets, visit astros.com/picnic. There he goes. Those are comfy seats, too.
Those are great seats, Julia. We go to the 4th inning. It's tied 1-1. Dallas Keuchel facing Nelson Cruz, who delivered a sac fly in the 1st inning. This one goes out to right center field, sending Fowler back. Fowler churning hard, and that one bouncing and going out of play for a double for Nelson Cruz. His 13th double of the year. That gives him a 12-game hitting streak now.
I thought Fowler had a beat on this ball, but when Nelson Cruz hits him, apparently they carry a little bit better than most other guys who swing a bat.
It looked like it was down off the end of the bat, too, Ash.
Did. It really did. By the way, Brownie, we just got word that Alex White has been activated. He's been on the DL for the last 2 seasons now, and he activated and sent to AAA, ready to perform.
So there's another double. That's 3 doubles. And that gives Jones an opportunity to drive in the go-ahead run. Adam grounding to third in the 1st inning. Now, Bo Porter was saying the other day that Alex White's up there 93, 94 miles per hour, I believe. His velocity as he's pitching for AAA. There's a line shot. Krause has it. And that cuts it off from being a double into the right field corner. 1 out.
That kind of good fortune can be exactly what we were talking about. Part of winning streaks. You hit a ball like this, you expect to get a hit. You don't always get one. But it wasn't a routine play either.
Well, there have been some hard hit outs. There was one in the last inning by Markakis lining out to shortstop Gonzalez. So Keuchel and Castro are talking this over. It might just be that Keuchel does not have that sinking action that he normally does. He throws an excellent sinker. And 2 different types of breaking balls. The 3rd extra base hit he's allowed today. He only allowed 3 in the previous 4 starts, so it's not quite the same result he's been getting, but it would be hard to keep in that group. Now Davis, the batter, runner takes off for 3rd. Here's the throw, and Cruz with the dive. He's out. What a big play by Castro and Dominguez to gun down Cruz, trying to steal 3rd.
I don't know if Matt Dominguez blocks 3rd base right here, and I won't be surprised if Buck Showalter challenges this. To the eye, I didn't see it this way.
He's coming out.
But again, Matt could have been the difference maker in terms of keeping the guy off the bag. That's a big jump. Castro makes a good throw. Yeah, it comes down to what you're able to see on this play.
Yeah. Like he made the correct call.
Yeah.
Mark Wegner, the umpire.
Yep. I think Matt's foot and leg in there kept the left hand off the bag initially. And that buys the time to get the out. That's a very good call.
And it's not being challenged by Showalter. What a big play. And now 2 outs and nobody on, and Davis has a 1-0 count. He rolls it out to the right fielder, Jose Altuve, who throws him out. And it's a 4-pitch inning. No runs a hit, nobody left. It's still tied at 1.
Faith and Family Night with your Houston Astros Saturday, June 14th, following the 3:10 p.m. game against the Tampa Bay Rays. It's featuring a post-game concert with Christian rock band Mercy Me. For tickets, visit astros.com/faith.
Well, on this Saturday afternoon, it's a 1-1 ball game. Well, these 2 teams play almost nothing but close games this year. The Astros have won 3, Baltimore has won 2 in their season series. And had low-scoring games throughout. Houston winning last night 2-1, and the night before 3-1. Baltimore captured a couple of one-run decisions in Baltimore from the Astros. Alex Presley steps up with the game tied at 1. Each club with 3 hits, no errors. The Astros have left 5. Baltimore's left 1. Presley was hit by a pitch in the 2nd inning. This one is strike 1. Grossman and Gonzalez to follow. Johan Santana could be a factor in this Baltimore rotation. No balls, 2 strikes. Former Cy Young Award winner has an opt-out in his contract, and that opt-out date is tomorrow. He's been pitching in the minor leagues. And there's thought that he might be ready to go if he continues his progress by maybe the middle of June, if he stays with the Oriole organization. 1-2, so in that case the player could choose to opt out of the contract and be a free agent to shop his services elsewhere, but then he and his agent would probably try to analyze what his chances are to make the most impact in the big leagues. Fouled away. Still 1-2 to Presley. Tanaka's done it again, Ash. The Yankees beat Minnesota today 3-1 at Yankee Stadium. Masahiro Tanaka the winner. 8 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, no earned runs. He is 8-1 with a 2.06 ERA.
He finally proves that he is capable of losing, but he also proves that he has that ability to bounce back and win after losing.
And strike 3 call. 3rd strikeout for Tillman.
Time now for the AT&T Rewind. And we look at Robbie Grossman, who last night had a key double, driving in a run. This tied the ballgame. That was enormous at the time. And today drives in a run with this. As he just squibs one up the first base line. Tillman lets it roll, and the Astros pick up a run and say thank you very much. So a couple of RBI hits here for Robbie Grossman.
He looks at ball 1.
You know, I was talking in that at bat where we just saw Robbie driving the run today that he had taken a first pitch fastball. No indication of considering swinging on that particular pitch. I've got some interesting numbers from Robbie last year.
Okay.
And I would imagine that most of these came later on in the season. But he had 17 first pitch hits last year. Hit 472 on first pitches. This year he is 0 for 1.
Interesting. Two balls and strike. Jonathan Scope is out in shallow right field, as you can see there. But the shortstop is not over on the first base side of second. Interesting alignment. We don't often see. There's a line shot to Davis. And he smacked that one right into out number 2.
I would imagine some first-time fans out at the ballpark today are thinking, boy, this game has a lot of line drives at people.
And they would be correct. 2 outs now, and it's Marwin Gonzalez. He popped a shortstop in the second inning with the bases loaded for out number 2. As Tillman got out of further trouble after the Grossman hit. And there's ball 1 to Tillman. From Tillman. Tillman is 1-1 in his career against the Astros. Even though his ERA is a shade under 5, the Orioles have won 8 of his 11 starts. He seems to be on the mound when they score runs quite often. Two balls and a strike. Made 59 starts since coming up from AAA Norfolk July 4th, 2012. He's 29-12.
Camo guard there.
Yeah. Fly ball left field. And Pierce will back off the wall, play it off that wall. He'll barehanded. He'll try to get Marwin at second. The ball is waiting, and he slides into out number 3. It goes as a single. And then they play from 7-4 from Pierce to Scope for the 3rd out. No runs, a hit, nobody left, and we go to the 5th inning, and it's tied at 1. And an important play here for the Orioles to keep Marlon Gonzalez from getting to second base as Steve Pearce guns him down.
Pearce barehands this ball. I don't know that that sped anything up at all, but he makes a good throw into the bag, and that tag easily gets Marwin trying to stretch. With 2 outs, not a bad idea to try to stretch. 1 out or the second out in an inning, that would be extremely foolish.
Marwin hit it well. And the Astros have 4 hits in the first 4 innings. The Orioles as well have 4. So it's a 1-1 game. And we go to the 5th inning now with J.J. Hardy. Hardy doubled in the 2nd inning off the glove of the diving Matt Dominguez. Chopper to shortstop. Marwin Gonzalez makes it a 1-pitch out, number 1 for Keuchel.
Comcast Business takes you inside the game as we look at Dallas Keuchel inside the strike zone, and that red hot zone is where Dallas lights it up. If you can see the knees of the hitter, you can see that a good percentage of those pitches are below the knees and a whole lot right at the knees, some above. But Dallas Keuchel lives in that area, and that's been, in my estimation, along with the way he lives on the corners, why he's been able to be so successful here and using all the pitches in that zone.
Now that was Tropical Storm Dallas there on your map.
Is that what you saw?
It's going to be moving a little to the east.
That one did not back up like a backup slider.
8 groundouts for Dallas. Manny Machado takes a look. Correction on the Baltimore hit total. The Orioles have 3 hits, not 4. And all 3 of their hits have been doubles. Was that our Doppler pitch pattern zone?
I think that is, and that Doppler technology is very expensive, so enjoy it.
We spare no expense to show you pitch patterns from Dallas Keuchel. The hitters have been going for first pitches quite often. A little tapper to third base. Matt Dominguez throwing on the run and safe. Machado gets an infield hit.
There's a guy that looked like in September last year he had torn a knee up in a fashion that could eliminate some guys from ever playing again, and there he gets down the line like this. Very impressive. Matt Dominguez circles the ball perfectly to make this play and still can't get him.
And as you can see, stretched by Krause, didn't quite get it before Machado arrived.
I bet the Orioles are a little hesitant to watch Manny Machado go down on a close play at first anymore.
True. That was an ugly injury. Now Jonathan Scope is the batter. Scope out to right center field. Fowler moving over for it. Got his body in position for the throw. 2 outs.
And you know the way Dallas Keuchel throws so many early strikes, and he just keeps throwing strikes, puts hitters in that position where they feel like, well, they better swing the bat early because the chances of getting a better pitch to hit might be early, and Dallas will get a lot of 1- and 2-pitch outs.
Caleb Joseph bats. He grounded out earlier. Joseph takes a look at it. He is 0 for his last 17 now.
This would have been really intriguing. It already is, but more so if Nick Markakis' double in the first inning had been challenged and reversed. That's the only man that comes around to score for the O's.
Fly ball to right. Springer dashing in. It's a hit in front of him. It goes behind him now. And Machado goes first to third on the single by Joseph.
Wrong throw coming in. Hit the cutoff man. I appreciate the effort here by George coming in. He thought he might have a play. Tried to block it. I don't think this is wrong thinking at all. The throw to the plate wasn't the right thing.
The single by Joseph snaps his 0 for 17. Machado to third, 2 outs, and now Markakis bats. Markakis hangs in pretty well against lefties. He doubled to open the game and scored, and then he lined to shortstop. There's strike one. You all right there, partner?
You know what? My seat sounded like it just got.
Yeah, your chair made a noise.
It tried to break on me. I'm not sure if we can solidify this thing again here. I've got the rocking chair, so maybe that's an indication of something here this afternoon.
It's 1 ball, 1 strike to Nick Markakis. All the hazards of being up here in the booth.
How dare you tell the folks my seat made a noise?
I'm going to plant a whoopee cushion on it. Hey, by the way, are you getting ready to grow that mustache?
Oh, thanks. Well, you know, if it comes down to it, I'll comply.
When it started, but it was blocked by Castro. And 2-1. So remember, you have made a promise. If the Astros, you did make this promise,
really?
right?
Yeah.
Jeff Blum, in case you're watching, you're part of this too.
There was no blood swearing in or anything like that, but there was an agreement made that if the Astros win 10 in a row, and I think we all jumped in, that some things might happen. I don't recall what my agreement was. What was yours on that one?
You are going to grow a mustache.
No, I don't think that's what it was.
That's what I've been told you promised to do. Yeah. Where is that note we left you?
What is your agreement?
I think I was going to shave my head.
Yeah, that's Blummer's going to come back blondie again. I'm supposed to grow the mustache.
I think I'm shaving my head.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
And that's going to be a good look.
3 balls and strike. It's a good look on some guys.
It works. Yeah. I remember when JD first did it, and I'm not sure he sold it well on the first day or so, but within a short period of time, it was him.
At first, though, when everything is white, it's not a good look.
No. No, you do have to get some sun. So what kind of razor are you going to use?
I haven't decided yet.
The 5-bladed?
Markakis takes a walk, and the bases are loaded for Pierce. So a rare base on balls for Keuchel. Only his 13th of the year in his 75th inning. Now has him facing Pierce with 3 men on.
Bottom of the 3rd inning at Los Angeles, the last time Keuchel walked a man. This was an effort to put Markakis in a tough spot with those sliders down and away, and just eventually walks him. I think that's the way you try to go at Markakis. I'm not convinced that when Keuchel walks a man, it was a loss of command.
Right. Yeah. He has a plan. He's been executing it. Pierce is 0 for 2, a ground out and a strikeout, and he's a .273 hitter with the bases loaded. But it leaves a little room for error, though, with the bases loaded now. That's the other side of it. And it's ball 1. And Nelson Cruz is on deck. Pierce played his college ball at South Carolina.
I am convinced Cruz is a guy you don't want to face with men on base.
Yes. Now 2-0.
A couple of efforts with the changeup, and in each case it just simply gets away. Now with the 2-0 and fastball count, bases loaded, it gets dicey.
Six straight balls from Keuchel now. That's good for a strike, and it's 2-1.
Boy, it brings out the paintbrush on that 2-0 pitch. That's when you're really pitching well, when you can make that pitch with a 2-0 count, bases loaded. You don't want to groove one.
Now it's 3-1.
Went back to the change. That's been a key pitch for Dallas.
Oscar Taveras era has started. He's in St. Louis, and he's hit his first home run in the big leagues. Machado, Joseph, and Markakis, the base runners. Big 3-1 pitch coming here to Pierce. And he walks to give the Orioles a 2-1 lead. Pierce drawing his 12th run batted in.
Well, I'm convinced on that one that Dallas has lost for the moment his command of the strike zone.
Nelson Cruz will be next. He has a sac fly and a double. Cruz bounced around at the beginning of his career from the Mets organization to Oakland, traded to Milwaukee, and the Rangers. He went to the Rangers in 06 along with Carlos Lee.
See the focus there?
No.
No, he was just looked like a hitter locked in.
Fowler's over in right center field for Cruz. Cruz has big time power to all fields. Nelly hit 27 home runs last year for Texas. That's ball one to him. He had a 33 home run season for the Rangers back in 09 when he was an all-star. Now Brent Strom comes out, and he has not found a need to do this very often this season. But 9 of the last 10 pitches have been balls from Dallas Keuchel.
Yeah, you go out and you just reminded me, you've been great all afternoon. Everything has been exactly where you have had it in your success times, and just get yourself back there. Just take one moment to breathe about it.
Pitching coaches really consider when they're making that visit to the mound. In for a strike. 1-1 to Cruz.
Having a tough time finding the strike zone, and the inside corner is the one that's toughest to get called, and yet Keuchel comes right there.
Here's a man with 7 grand slams. Now 2 balls and a strike. Cruz with 12 home runs in the month of May. Chris Davis hit 12 home runs in June of last year. Chase one there.
That's the sinker. That's a serious sinker. Keuchel, in falling behind, comes closer to having to give in than at any point, because the vast majority of the time he's pitching with a hitter having no idea what he's going to bring.
Now this will be a very important pitch. And it's fouled away.
It comes right back to that inside corner with the fastball.
He's thrown more than 20 pitches this inning now.
Yeah, don't ever think that Dallas Keuchel is just a sinker ball pitcher who doesn't come in. He does it very well.
Time called. And a big swing and a foul ball by Cruz. He really let it fly that time. Cruz is now 5 for 10 lifetime against Keuchel.
There's the slider on the 2-2. And generally, Dallas is willing to throw any pitch, any count. But when you walk a couple in an inning and one brings in a run, it changes the thinking.
Now a full count, and the runners will be moving on the next pitch. This will be the 25th pitch of the inning for Keuchel.
I would normally anticipate change.
Ball 4, and another run is walked in. 3-1 Baltimore.
3 consecutive walks. That is not the standard Keuchel.
Cruz picks up his second RBI of the day, 51st of the year. Joseph coming home, Markakis to third, Pierce to second, and now it's Adam Jones batting.
And it doesn't get really easier with Adam Jones coming to the plate.
Jones is grounded to third and lined to first. Rome Williams warming up for Houston. 4 walks in the previous 5 starts, 3 in a row in this inning. Ball 1. Adam Jones is playing his 1,000th career major league game. There's Williams getting loose. He started with Seattle. He played 73 with the Mariners, 927 with Baltimore now. He is 19th on the club's all-time list of games played for Baltimore. 2-0. Number 1, Cal Ripken, with 3,001 games played for the Birds. He'll be here tomorrow. Now Keuchel really struggling.
It is. This has gone from a guy just missing his spots to suddenly a guy I would imagine is questioning himself. Can I throw a strike here?
Now 3-0 to Jones.
You can see that Dallas doesn't ever like to give in and throw to the heart of the plate. But the normal Dallas can find those corners at will. Right now it's not there.
Strike, and it's 3-1.
It's a fat pitch that I'll just about guarantee Adam Jones is thinking, why did I let that go?
Popped up. Castro back behind the plate, watching it go out of play.
Same fastball, same spot, big swing.
Now the runners will be turned loose again on 3-2 with 2 outs. The Astros have allowed 3 runs or fewer in 6 games in a row now. And a swing and a foul tip strikeout. Jones bangs down the helmet. And in the 5th inning for Baltimore, 2 runners come home on 2 hits with 3 men left. Back-to-back bases loaded walks. 3-1 Baltimore.
Orioles over the Astros, and a few weeks ago Bo Porter changed up the lineup, putting George Springer behind a speedy Jose Altuve, trying to get Springer more pitches to hit. Well, Altuve just told me recently that he's actually getting more pitches to hit with a hot Springer behind him. Inside the Lines brought to you by Scotch Painter's Tape. Scotch Blue, see what you can do. And we're looking at the numbers here Altuve said he's not getting more fastballs so much, but the breaking stuff is being thrown for strikes. Here's the numbers to back that up. You see, with Springer behind him, 71%. More strikes there with Springer behind him in the lineup, guys.
Thank you, Julia. Now it's 3-1 Baltimore. Chris Tillman has been handed the 2-run lead and throwing ball one here to Altuve, who's 0 for 2. That was interesting. Look at how the patterns have changed a little bit, the way pitchers work to Jose. Springer behind him with all that power. He shortens up. He takes a look at ball 2. Well, with this top 3 in the lineup for Bo Porter, Altuve, Springer, and Fowler, the offense has certainly hooked up with that combination. The Astros 12-3 with those 3 in the top spots. That'll hang on the left side of the infield. Machado calling at third. 1 out.
Yeah, that looked like ball 3. Fastball appeared to be up. Altuve aggressively after it. That's his game.
Now Springer is 0 for 2 today.
By the way, Dallas Keuchel needed 40 pitches to get through the first 4 innings. 31 in that 5th.
Stressful inning. Springer looks at ball 1. With Alex White being activated, he was on a minor league rehab assignment at Oklahoma City, so he had pitched 4 times there. Now he's been optioned to Oklahoma City, so he'll continue to pitch, but his rehab assignment has ended and he's now active on the AAA roster. 1 ball, 1 strike. He had Tommy John surgery at the beginning of last year. It's good to get him back in the mix. 2 balls and a strike. And you know, the decision is forthcoming next week on going back to a 5-man rotation. Bo Porter has already said he will do that after the off day Monday, so one of the 6 pitchers will no longer be in that rotation. Good chance that pitcher, whoever he is, will be going to the bullpen, and that keeps the Astros with a 12-man staff if that's the way they do it.
Well, whoever that guy is going to hear from Bo Porter that you did nothing to deserve a demotion if you look at it that way.
Yeah. In the air to right field, Markakis tracks it. 2 down for Tillman.
Great guests, hot topics, and no holds barred debate. Kevin Eschenfelder serves it up every single night on Sports Talk Live. That's weeknight at 5 p.m. only on Comcast Sportsnet.
Bird's eye view of the doings here inside Minute Maid Park. It's 3-1 Baltimore. And with the Birds in town, it's only appropriate. Ash.
Birds are in town. David Crosby and all.
Oh, those Birds. Now Fowler is 1 for 2 in this game. You don't know the members of the band, the Birds?
Not personally, no.
They were very popular many decades ago.
Yeah. Hint received.
1 ball, 1 strike.
But Julia was a big fan of the Birds.
Now, the Birds came along after the Beatles started, right?
I believe so. I think everything happened after the Beatles, didn't it?
Was that pretty much? Was that song "Turn, Turn, Turn"? Was that a Birds song?
You got it. Don't try to tell me you didn't know a thing about them.
I'm going to have to hear this because I don't know what y'all are talking about.
Well, we'll sing it for you after the game.
Oh.
I heard Julia down there singing earlier. I want to hear more of that.
Yeah.
No chance.
We're going to start a band because Ash plays the guitar. And
Julia sings. You do what?
Nothing.
You're the bass player, right?
Well, if you would show me how, I could play 1 note. If it's just that 1 note that you want in the background, that's what you get. It's rock to center field. Jones way back. Jones still going back to the warning track, and right in front of that billboard, he hauls it down deep in left center field for out number 3. After 5, it's 3-1 Baltimore. to you by AT&T UVerse TV. Check availability at 1-800-PIC-ATT. Rethink possible. And by your local Toyota dealer. Your chance to save on a Toyota Camry ends June 2nd. Hurry to buyatoyota.com. June 2nd coming right up. Tomorrow's the 1st. Monday, that off day you were talking about, Ash, that's the first after 17 straight days of Astros baseball.
Gee, and it doesn't feel like that at all. You know, when you're winning, you handle it pretty easily, and it's been a nice run for the club.
Dallas Keuchel struggled there in the 5th inning with 3 consecutive walks. 2 of them drove in runs. Then he struck out Jones to end the 5th for Baltimore, but the Birds now have a 3-1 lead as they come up in the 6th with Davis, Hardy, and Machado. Chris Davis has grounded out twice, both times to the right side, and that's where they congregate. 3 of them between first and second base. Big cut and strike 1 to Chris Davis. Tomorrow we're going to have a special graphic for you of Chris Davis and where he hits ground balls. We're busily preparing it right now. No balls, 2 strikes. If this game goes 22-23 innings, we'll have it for you today.
I'm hoping you don't see any possibility of that being the case.
That's the way they're grouped on him, though. One and 2. Well, Dallas Keuchel has been in such an unbelievable groove. How long could it last? That was the question. And he took the mound today. He gets a swing there and strikes out Davis.
What was going on with Jason Castro right there?
Didn't know.
He started to stand up, and I think Jason got crossed up again.
Okay.
That was not your standard handling of strike 3.
Not usually the way you do it when the pitch is down.
I think for some reason Jason was looking fastball.
J.J. Hardy's the batter. Sure looked that way. This ball went to Hardy. Hardy with a double and a ground out. He has not homered in 68 games. 266 at bats since the last J.J. Hardy homer. 2-0. The reason that's so rare is that he's had some 20 home run seasons here. Pretty well established. And now here we are on May 31st, and his home run total is 0. But he's been hitting. 297 batting average coming into this game.
Guy hit 30 bombs back in 2011.
Yeah, he's a defensive wizard as well. Ground ball, and Altuve drops it, recovers, throws to Krause. 2 outs.
Whether you're treating employees, hosting clients, or bringing out your church or youth sports team to Minute Maid Park, Astros Group tickets will create an experience your group is sure to remember. Call 1-877-9-ASTROS or visit Astros.com to enjoy special pricing and great benefits by reserving your group today.
Manny Machado reached on an infield hit in the 5th. He's 1 for 2. Came around to score. One of those bases loaded walks. Keuchel can't get it. Altuve barehanding and gets away from him as well. And there's another infield hit for Machado. Machado placed that one perfectly. Right over the pitcher and right behind the mound.
Really back-to-back at bats for Machado, as you said. That usually indicates you're going to come out of some kind of slump you're in.
Hit number 6 for Baltimore. Jonathan Scope's the batter. Scope is 0 for 2. Brian Roberts moved on from Baltimore at second base to the Yankees. So Scope now the second baseman. He pops it up. Altuve moving in. In the 6th inning, it's no runs a hit and the man left. Orioles 3, Astros 1.
trailing to the Orioles. It's 3-1. And every Thursday home game at Minute Maid Park this season is Dollar Dog Thursday. And the next Dollar Dog Thursday is June 5th against the Angels. For tickets, call 1-877-9-ASTROS or visit astros.com. Guys.
Next Thursday, the Angels are coming in the 3-game series. That starts Tuesday night. And that Thursday game is a 6:10 start. That's the finale of the homestand. So Julia and Ash can head for Minneapolis, St. Paul after that game.
Cutting an hour off our arrival time, huh?
That's right.
Way to go.
You're going up to Target Field to see the Twins.
It's a nice place. I'm sure you've seen it. Beautiful ballpark.
Just on TV.
Only on TV?
Yeah.
Well, you owe yourself.
Okay. Jason Castro coming up. He has swung at the first pitch and hit it first 2 times up today. Has a double and a fly ball to left. That pitch is way upstairs from Chris Tillman. Ball 1.
Found that I can get good chairs there at Target Field.
You need a good chair. 1 ball, 1 strike. You know, so you've had the chair thing going today, but we're talking about what we're going to do during a 10-game winning streak. I think Julia is going to dye her hair purple.
That'd be sweet.
Whoa.
No?
No. Rolled out to right field, but here's the charge, and that's dropped. So Castro will reach. Scope had a long way to come, and he might have peeked a little bit at the base runner, so Castro is aboard. It's an error on Scope.
It makes it a challenging play on that slowly hit ground ball when you're playing in shallow right field. But if he comes up with it cleanly, it's still routine.
Yeah. Now that's a case of if the shift were not on and he had been playing a normal depth at second base, it wouldn't have been as tough a play. At Dominguez, the batter, he was hit by a pitch and he walked. So Julia apparently is not in favor of this, dyeing her hair.
She's chicken. She's willing to get on my chair issues, but
well, Plummer, of course, has no hesitation whatsoever about changing his hair color.
No, that's easy.
Oh, do you think people change personalities when they change hair color?
I would. I think you probably come with the civil parts of your personality.
Domingo looks at it. It's 1-2.
Yeah, that kind of goes back to Bird days too. So
yeah,
dating myself a lot.
How many hits did the Birds have? You can remember 3 or 4.
I would imagine at least that. They were big stuff, I think. Julia can confirm that.
It's not fair to go back to music before someone was born.
Really not.
Fouled away. Well, Tillman now with his 3-1 lead, shooting for win number 5 of the season, has made it through the 2nd inning when the Astros scored on the Grossman infield hit. He got the next 2 to get out of bases loaded trouble. Left 2 men on in the 3rd. Gonzalez was thrown out at 2nd in the 4th, trying to stretch to a double. Now he's at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Crazy year for Tillman. He had a game against the Pirates May 1st in which he threw 49 pitches in the top of the 1st inning. He lasted just 2/3 of an inning in that game, so that really blew up his ERA. Machado charging, short hop play, accurate throw. That's the one he makes so well.
Wow. This guy is something. And he just makes it look so easy. Yeah, that turned into a rocking chair. These guys are going to exploit my mechanical prowess. Didn't really work out. I've still got the rocking chair going, but that's what Julia's trying to pick on me about.
All right. We'll get you a chair for tomorrow, Ash.
No, I'm enjoying. I appreciate getting this rocking chair at this stage of things.
It's important to be situated properly. Now it's Mark Krause batting. Didn't know they were.
That's just wrong, guys.
Taping that then. Krause is 0 for 2. That could prove to be embarrassing.
Just simply wrong.
Krause takes a look at ball 1.
I think Tillman's having a hard time getting this curveball called a strike. He's left some up where he felt was in the strike zone and trying to pick away at the knees.
This one kicks away from Joseph, and the runner advances to third. Jason Castro on a wild pitch by Tillman.
A very nice run to pick up.
Yes, it would be trailing 3-1 here in the 6th. What's your ruling on that? Catcher's form for blocking a pitch in the dirt.
Well, ideally, you're going to keep the glove down. Mike Matheny is the ideal for my imagination. Glove goes down to the ground. Body has to come down with it. If you try that at home, and only do it if you're a professional. Back of the hand on the ground, it's going to roll your body over.
2 balls and a strike.
I've provided the appropriate caution there, I guess, huh?
You have to, yes, do the buyer beware warning on that, because a lot of bodies are rolling over out there right now. Krause takes a look at it. It's 3-1 now.
It's very difficult, however, to not have the glove come up. It's reaction from the time you're a kid.
Tillman has thrown, as you see, 91 pitches. 54 have been strikes. And Krause fouls it away for a full count to Mark. Alex Presley's on deck. The Orioles starting pitchers ERA is 4.56. That's 12th best in the American League. That's towering to shallow left field. Steve Pearce with Castro tagging. Makes the catch. Castro will just draw the throw and stop. And the throw's not a strong one. Machado cuts it off. 2 down. Fans are booing, but that just wasn't deep enough.
It wasn't deep enough, but if by some crazy chance somebody had run, Pearce did not make the exchange. Not the first time, not the second time, but finally the third time did he get the ball in the hand. But there's no way you can know that in advance. Watch what happens here. Yeah.
So in retrospect, maybe Castro could have scored, but who knew?
Costly second out, though.
Now Presley, he's been hit by a pitch and he struck out looking. A 2-out RBI would be very big in this game here for Alex. Grossman on deck. At strike 1. Third base coach just couldn't live with himself sending Castro in that situation.
No,
right?
that was an absolute no send, no go. But you get burned when the left fielder has that issue that he had.
Yeah. And as much as Pat Listash wants to help something happen in this game, that wouldn't have been the way to do it. That's called a swing on appeal. And Mark Wagner brings it up as strike 2. It's 0-2 on the Mark Wagner call.
And yeah, the bat goes through. Get that peek from down the third base line, semi anyway. And if that bat gets through the front of the plate, you got to throw the thumb up.
Presley stays alive. No balls, 2 strikes for Alex.
Might be the best velocity on the fastball all afternoon from Tillman, 94.
Yeah, he's been inconsistent this year, we've been told, in his velocity. He pitched a shutout at Kansas City May 16th. 5-hitter. That's a shallow fly ball to left field, and here's Pierce for the catch to end the 6th inning with no runs, no hits, 1 error, 1 left, 3-1 Baltimore.
For Houston, and I'm with the progressive fan of the game. I have Deanna, who's a huge Astros fan. All about Twitter. It's all about D. But you're a big fan. I mentioned that, and you've been watching these games. I know you were here a lot last year. You were here early this year. What has it been like watching this team take off in this hot streak lately for you?
Well, it's exciting, but I'm not surprised. I knew it was going to happen.
You're a big fan. You know what goes on. What have you enjoyed the most about this past week with this team?
I don't know. I just like to see how happy they are to win. I mean, I will come to the games no matter whether they're winning or losing, but it's kind of cool to watch how happy the guys are and how excited they get.
Very true fan right here. Deanna, thank you for being our progressive fan of the game. Brownie, they wouldn't let me walk around the concourse without an Altuve jersey, so I'm decked out. I'm one of the fans up here.
That looks really good on you.
Thank you.
That's a good color on you, as they say, Julia.
I'm not dyeing my hair orange either. Don't get any ideas.
Well, you know, your hair really is perfect for that color. We'll see what you come up with tomorrow, and then we'll give you fashion advice on that.
Okay.
Thanks, Julia. And D, all about D. Jerome Williams comes in now. It's 3-1. Baltimore leading. Williams pitched twice in the Kansas City series. Now coming in with 15 games as an Astro under his belt, a 1-2 record, a 5.52 ERA.
And start to compile some nice work. He would like to start, but you get that long roll in the bullpen, and it's a valuable role. A lot of times you need it when least expected, especially a day like today. Dallas Keuchel going to the mound.
Joseph takes the Williams fastball at 92, and it's strike one. Keuchel in 6 innings allowed the Birds 6 hits, 3 runs. He had 3 walks and struck out 3. Joseph singled and scored in the 5th. He's 1 for 2. It's 1 ball, 1 strike for Jerome Williams. So the Astros get another good start. Good numbers for Dallas Keuchel. I'm sure he's not pleased with the back-to-back bases loaded walks. 1 and 2, but the numbers are solid for him.
It falls into that quality start category. That kind of gives you an idea, though, why a lot of people feel 7 innings would be more meaningful in terms of a quality start.
Yeah. That was up there for Joseph to get a good look at it, and he fouled it back. 1-2. Very good game for Josh Hader at Lancaster last night. He went a career high 7 2/3 innings. And the Jethawks beat Rancho Cucamonga, the Quakes, 9-1. Hader's really one of the top prospects for the Astros. A left-hander, and they got him in the Bud Norris trade. Last night he gave up 1 run in 7 2/3, struck out 9, walked 1, Mike Fultonevich also with a big effort. 7 2/3 innings, 1 run. He had no walks and 10 strikeouts. And Mark Appel comes back for Lancaster tonight. His first start since April 23rd.
Really glad to see those numbers on Fultonevich last night. Hader, a guy that most of us don't know as much about, but a guy that's certainly coming along. Fultonevich, how close is he?
Well, he might be pretty close. He's had a pretty good string of work there at AAA. 29,619 the paid attendance here today. Good Saturday crowd. Foul ball back, keeps the count at 2-2, and so the AAA club getting some good work from Fultonevich. And that Lancaster team drawing rave reviews. Hader now is 5-0 this season. The Jethawks have won 7 in a row. They're 34-22. They're in first place. Hader's only 20 years old. And he's one of the big lefties in the organization. The Astros don't have a lot of left-handed starters who are considered to be top prospects in their organization. They have plenty of right-handed pitching. And you might look at the upcoming draft and wonder, are they going to try to fill a need here? 9 right-handed pitchers out of the top 20 prospects, 1 lefty. And there's the breakdown on the other position players.
1 lefty being Hader. So does that make it all the more likely that a young left-hander out of the San Diego area might be the guy?
Well, we were talking about him last night. Jeff Luhnow is not tipping his hand, of course. This will be the 10th pitch for Jerome Williams to Joseph. And scouting director Mike Elias won't tip his hand either. That's a strikeout for Williams. It's number 4 for Astros staff. So, of course, as we get this build up for Thursday night's draft, and we'll be reporting that as we're on the air at 6:10. The draft, I believe, starts about 7 o'clock. Ash will be furiously watching these laptops to see who that pick is. What's your guess?
You know, I've been feeling around like I know you have with everybody, and there is no definitive whatsoever, but I just get this hunch that this left-hander is really impressive out of San Diego. He's a youngster. It means a little bit of a time in the minor leagues.
Markakis with a fly ball to Springer in right. Yeah, but you know, the other side of that is that with the Astros very well stocked with pitching in the minor leagues, they could afford to wait a little bit longer for a high school pitcher now.
Agreed. And with him being left-handed, they're hard to find. I don't care if you've got 9-1 in terms of right and left in your organization. That shouldn't dictate. But when you've got a left-hander that might be at the top of the heap, that could dictate.
It's the annual debate, high school versus college.
Yeah. There was a time when high school was preferred because you had that guy to play 140 some games in the minor leagues. You could develop him. College has kind of become that minor league stop for guys.
Pierce with a fly ball to left center. Robbie Grossman with the play to make it a 1-2-3 7th inning, and it's 3-1 Baltimore.
7th inning. This moment in history is brought to you by MD Anderson, making cancer history. It is all about the Rocket. Roger Clemens, this date, agreed to a one-year contract with the Astros to come back for his 23rd season in the big leagues. Finished that 2006 season with a 7-6 record and a very good ERA. Didn't get a lot of run support. 230 that earning. Roger Clemens could probably still pitch today.
Jose Altuve giveaway jerseys today. Very big with the fans. Umbrellas may come in handy for the walk to the car afterwards. Doesn't look like it is raining right now, but you have to be prepared. And those folks are adorned with that Altuve jersey. He'll be due up third here in the bottom of the 7th inning. David Lowe is in left field for the Orioles. They lead it 3-1, and there is strike one to Robbie Grossman. Grossman has the Astros RBI with an infield hit. Then he lined to first in the 4th inning. Second baseman Scope is out in right field for him.
After Robbie takes strike one again. Turn back the clock. Last year, 17 hits, a 470 some odd batting average on first pitch, and this year he is 0 for 1.
Change up, dips low, and it's 2-1. 100 pitches now for Chris Tillman, and the bullpen is hot. It's 2-2 with Ryan Webb, the right-hander, getting loose.
I've got some hollering out of the Astros dugout. That last call a strike.
Way up, and it's 3 balls, 2 strikes. Tillman has missed some of his pitches by a wide margin today, but overall he's given up just 4 hits and 1 run in 6 innings plus, so he's into bonus time right now for this club. And foul away. And when a guy's in his situation, shall we say, the skipper Buck Showalter wanting to break this 4-game losing streak, and Tillman has struggled at times in this game and has struggled in some of his earlier starts leading up to this one. Could be a quick hook here in the 7th inning. That's a leadoff walk, and that might help get to that hook.
That was a better pitch than the one called the second strike.
That's the second walk for Tillman. He's also hit 2 batters. And he struck out 3, and it's Marwin Gonzalez batting. Marwin 1 for 2. Marwin singled off the left field scoreboard. He was thrown out trying to stretch it to a double in the 4th inning on a good throw from Steve Pearce. Well, we look forward to that draft preview. Tiffany Blackman headlining that earlier. Later on tonight, Sportsnet Central. Getting you all set for next Thursday night. Strike to Gonzalez. Big weekend here, not only in Major League Baseball, but also in the college ranks with those playoffs going on at various sites around the country. Number 5 national seed Florida State is out. Out of play, no balls, 2 strikes. Big hopes for the Texas schools. Texas A&M, Rice, and Houston this weekend.
Only one of the schools, as I understand it, between Rice and Houston can make it through, so that's a bit unfortunate there.
A lefty pitching prospect we talked about, it could be the first man chosen in the draft, Brady Aiken, Cathedral Catholic High School, San Diego. Now back. Yeah, there's always this stigma about the draft, a couple of high school lefties have been taken with the first overall pick in the round, things like that. Where do you stand on that? There's got to be somebody who breaks, short right-handed pitchers, stay away from them, that kind of thing. Somebody's got to break them.
You mean like Tim Hudson or?
Good point.
Yeah, I like to look at the talent and not the size of the body so much. Roy Oswalt was that guy. I remember having quite a almost heated conversation with a very big-time scout at the time. He said, Roy Oswalt's too small. He'll never be anything. Now, that wasn't the arm that I was seeing.
Joseph comes up with it. 2-2. He blocked it anyway.
Billy Wagner was too small.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes good things come in small packages, and sometimes the big packages are very disappointing. And the other thing, and I'm sorry, Bronny, is that I don't think the big guy necessarily. Well, I don't see any reason to believe he stays healthy longer than the smaller guy. Just I haven't seen it that way.
One hopper to short. There's Hardy tossing and Scope the middleman on a 6-4-3 double play. Taylor made.
That hurt.
That's exactly what Chris Tillman was hoping for. Now 2 outs, and here's how he did it.
Ball hit sharply. Just had eyes from the Baltimore perspective.
Buck Showalter will ask no more of his right-hander Tillman, who could be a 5-game winner by the end of the day. He gives up the baseball after 6 2/3 innings, 4 hits and 1 run allowed. We'll be right back with Baltimore up 3-1.
We asked y'all on Twitter, what is the single biggest reason the Astros are on this 7-game winning streak? And we got plenty of responses, plenty of options. Here are some of the best. The font catcher tweets, the Houston bullpen has been very intriguing and is the icing on the cake to the hits and run support generated lately. How about Jamie Saldivar 4? Jamie tweets, consistency of the starting rotation. They've gone deep into games and are allowing minimal runs, which helps the bullpen. Thank you very much for tweeting me at Ho-Chen CSN. Guys, over to you.
Thank you, Ho-Chen. 3-1 ball game. Baltimore leads. 2 outs, bottom of the 7th inning. Nobody on as reliever Ryan Webb comes out of the bullpen. He's 28 years old. And he pitched 2 nights ago, 1 hitless inning. He is 2-1 with a 3.13 ERA.
It's the left-handers he's been chewing up, although the overall is quite good. I like that, the font catcher. I always chuckled at the term that catchers were given, the hind catcher.
Jose Altuve is 0 for 3 in this game. His 9-game hitting streak on the line as he bats in the 7th. That comes in on a changeup at strike 1. Right out of the bullpen. First pitch change. Lance Berkman, the last Astro to have more hits in the month of May than Jose Altuve's 45 this May. Lance had 49 in May of 08. It's 1-1 for Ryan Webb. He's retired the first batter in 19 of his 24 outings this year. Pitched for Miami last year. He was in 66 games. Bounce to the shortstop, J.J. Hardy. And that's the third out. We move to the 8th inning with a score 3-1 Baltimore.
As promised earlier in the game, we have the AT&T fan photo of the game. It's Sean rocking some rainbow there. Nice. Thanks for tweeting us, Sean. And remember to tweet your photo using hashtag CSNHFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming broadcast. That's brought to you by AT&T. And remember, if your account is set to private, set it to public so we can see your tweet. Ash, do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah, I'm with you, Julia,
okay.
all the way on all of that.
Got to check your Twitter knowledge up there.
I keep my stuff on public at all times.
Ash resets his account every morning, Julia.
Yeah.
Well, they know what she's talking about. 3-1 ball game. We go to inning number 8, and it's Nelson Cruz leading it off. Cruz has had 2 runs batted in this game. Lays off that pitch, ball 1. He has a sac fly, a double, and a bases loaded walk. And career .579, 11 for 19 against Jerome. That's a shot to left center field. That's going to go for a while. That is really hit. And it's 4-1. Nelson Cruz hits a no-doubter, number 20 of the season. 3rd RBI of the day, giving him 52 runs batted in.
Wow. This ball just kept on going. Get a little idea about the ball that got over Fowler in right center field, hit by Cruz earlier in the ball game. This ball is juiced. You grow accustomed to seeing the ball come off of most guys' bats, and it wants to come back down. This just stays airborne.
He went up to the ConocoPhillips pump with that one. 20 home runs this year for Cruz. He leads the majors in homers on the road with 12, and 39 of his runs batted in have come away from Baltimore, which is a hitting haven. There's Jones taking strike 1 now, and it's a 4-1 lead.
What an acquisition he is proving to be.
No balls, 2 strikes. Yeah, the Birds can really erupt with their power. That's their 54th homer of the year. They're 6th in the American League in long balls, but once they get Davis back in sync again, they could really climb quickly, and Hardy starts hitting home runs. It's in the air, and the right fielder Springer is sprinting in, and Altuve had the angle on it, made the call, and it's out number 1.
But not to mention Adam Jones. And again, the Orioles, the team that led the American League in home runs a year ago, they could get really lively with the sticks here, second 2/3 of the season.
Buck Showalter would not at all mind that. They've averaged slightly under 4 runs per game in the month of May. Chris Davis 0 for 3. And the shift is on as usual. He shoots one toward the left field corner. This could be a fair ball, and it is not. He gave it a ride down the left field line, and it just sliced foul. Bobby Grossman over for it. Just barely foul.
It was close. I'm not sure Robbie even was aware as to what it was called initially.
Yeah, I guess the left fielder wouldn't necessarily know that, would he?
You're on the run and probably can't tell as it lands.
It's called a strike, and it's 0-2 to Davis. Davis was called out at the end of last night's game on what he felt was a pitch out of the strike zone as the Astros beat Baltimore 2-1. Now a strikeout takes care of out number 2.
MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is celebrating 12 years. Watch every out-of-market game live in true HD on over 400 devices. Join the millions of subscribers by visiting Astros.com for your details.
Jerome Williams faces J.J. Hardy. There's ball 1 to Hardy. You know what the J.J. stands for on Hardy?
I've looked it up about 15 times, and I couldn't tell you at the moment.
James Jerry. 1 ball, 1 strike. His father was a pro tennis player, and his mother was a pro golfer.
Pretty good bloodlines.
A lot of hand-eye coordination in that family. 1 and 2.
Hence the outstanding work at shortstop through the years and the home run power for a guy that's not a big guy.
He's listed as 6'2", 190.
Yeah.
Not a big guy, though, right? Not a Cal Ripken size shortstop.
Not a 30 home run kind of guy.
A hit on through into center field makes Hardy 2 for 4 in this game. Troy Tulowitzki's a big shortstop. It's been kind of the trend, though.
But generally, people who have been around the game will say that's too big to be as a shortstop. Jeff Blum went through those issues in his younger days and proved that he could. And I think he acknowledges that maybe he proved it because people said that.
Okay. Manny Machado's 2 for 3. He came up as a shortstop. Of course, he doesn't have the ability to play that position with Hardy so good, but he's listed at 6'3". He's a shortstop playing third base. That's a bonus. There's strike 1.
And you see it with some of the plays he makes to either side, coming in, those pop flies going back. He just looks like a guy that is almost bored playing at third base. Like, get me back to short where there's a challenge.
He does. In the dirt, 1-1. Well, and then Xander Bogaerts was playing third last year for Boston, but he's been at short this year while Stephen Drew was unsigned. Now Drew's in the minor leagues, so it appears that the Red Sox have earmarked Bogaerts to go back to third when Drew's ready to join them.
Well, the Red Sox were just watching a season get away from them.
Now a fire has been lit. Dominguez gets a 2-hopper. Throws out Machado, and it's 1 run on the Cruz home run. It's 4-1 Baltimore. in just a moment. The streaking Astros and Scott Feldman, the former Oriole, close out our weekend with an afternoon game against the Baltimore Orioles. Pre-game live starts at 12:30 tomorrow, only on Comcast Sportsnet. A crowd of 29,619 has watched the Orioles bolt out in front. They got a first inning run. Markakis started the game with a double. Cruz with a sacrifice fly made it 1-0, and the Astros got a run in the second. That's been it for Houston. Now it's 4-1 Baltimore. Back-to-back bases loaded walks in the fifth against Dallas Keuchel sent the Orioles in front 3-1. They got the Cruz homer in the top of the eighth a moment ago. Now the Astros are trailing by 3 as they bat in the bottom of the eighth inning against Ryan Webb. It'll be George Springer is 0 for 3, then Fowler, then Castro, the 2, 3, 4 hitters due up for the Astros. Baltimore bullpen is without closer Tommy Hunter, who's coming back from a groin injury. Webb delivers, and it's strike one. Chris Tillman went the first 6 2/3, giving up 4 hits, 1 run, walking 2, fanning 3, hitting 2, throwing 2 wild pitches. Webb got the final out in the 7th, getting Altuve. Backhanded Machado. 1 out. Springer's 0 for 4. Altuve's 0 for 4. So that's where it starts, stopping those two guys.
That top of the order has been dynamic, and like you say, Brownie, you get those two guys shut down, and some other guys better step up or you're going to be in trouble.
Dexter Fowler's 1 for 3. Just 4 hits for Houston today. Fowler got his hit in the 3rd inning, singling to right field. That is strike one. Brian Mattis, a lefty, warming up in the bullpen for Baltimore. Scott Feldman, 3-2 with a 3.02 ERA, goes tomorrow against lefty Wei Yin Chen. Chen 5-2 with a 4.50 earned run average. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Fowler. Mattis getting loose. It's in for a strike, and it's 1-2 to Dexter Fowler.
Webb gets that good running action on the heater, very much like Chad Qualls.
Webb's from Clearwater, Florida. He gets a strikeout on Fowler. That's 2 outs. Strikeout number 4 for Orioles pitching today.
Bring the whole family out every Sunday home game at Minute Maid Park this season for Family Sundays, presented by Kroger. Make sure to take advantage of special family 4-packs of tickets for only $75 on select Sunday games. For tickets, call 1-877-9-ASTROS or visit Astros.com.
Jason Castro as a double, and he reached on an error. He's 1 for 3. Cleveland edged Colorado in Cleveland 7-6. Rockies are not the same team when they leave Purple Mountain Majesty.
Changes that offensive bump that they seem to have.
Boy, doesn't it? Well, they have come back to earth, and they're now 28-27. Still quite respectable, though, in the NL West. But the Giants are in another universe.
It's an even year.
0-2. Giants are 36-19, Ash. Make it 36-20. They were shut out today at St. Louis 2-0 by Michael Wacha. And Rosenthal got his 16th save.
Kevin Millar with MLB television referred to it as the odd year thing that the Giants had. I think it's actually the even year thing.
Okay.
They got a big laugh over that.
Well, it's one of the two.
Yeah.
It's every other year. That's not a bad cycle to be on, right?
Bruce Bochy's claimed a couple of World Series flags with it.
Carlos Corcoran is featuring the rally cap. 2 outs and 2 strikes in the inning. His fellow catcher Castro batting. He fouls it back. 7-game winning streak for the Astros, and they have really been effective. They've averaged 5.6 runs per game in those 7 straight wins, while their ERA has been 1.29. Today, a different type of feel to this game. Michael Wacha's now 4-3 for the Cardinals. His ERA is 2.45. Astros down on strikes. That's a 1-2-3-8 for Webb. We go to the 9th. 4-1 Orioles.
Astros, Dynamo, Rockets, and more. We have all your sports news covered. Check out Sportsnet Central every night at 6:10 and midnight on Comcast Sportsnet. Guys.
Thanks, Julia. 4-1 is the lead for Baltimore. The Birds have lost 2 in a row to the Astros in this series. And as they try to get back in the winning column, they face Jerome Williams here in the 9th inning with Scope, Joseph, and Markakis 2 up. And the Astros will have Dominguez, Krause, and Presley due to bat in the bottom of the 9th. And so the Orioles have been on a good path here today. Tillman with win number 5 within his reach. Went the first 6 2/3. It was Keuchel going 6 for Houston. Williams has worked the 7th and 8th, and now he stays out for the 9th with Scope coming up. Scope is 0 for 3. San Diego beat the White Sox in Chicago 4-2 Padres. Tyson Ross won that one. That's strike 1. And Houston Street got his 17th save. Loser was Andre Rienzo. It's 1-1. Washington blasted Texas in Washington 10-2. Doug Fister the winner. Nick Tepish lost that one. Ryan Zimmerman is on a minor league rehab assignment right now with a broken thumb, and he's playing left field. And he had worked out some at left field with the Nationals before he went out on that rehab assignment. It seems that that is the plan when he returns to the club. Move him to left field. He's had throwing problems at third base. 2 balls, 2 strikes for Jerome Williams.
There have been guys taking that kind of route, and it works out well in the long run. The throws are very different. I played with a guy by the name of Bob Baylor who could not throw from the infield without getting hurt.
Castro over for this foul pop, and carry him right back. Almost hit him in the head as it hit that edge of the dugout and just took a shot back toward the infield.
Bob Baylor could throw from the outfield and be perfectly fine. The other guy I think of is Dale Murphy, who had the thing issue. And there have been question marks about Zimmerman with that as well.
Yep.
So maybe it works out nicely in the outfield.
Yeah, you're right. It's a totally different position, so maybe that gets rid of the thing, as they say, which is a sort of a mental block on throwing. And we've talked about this before, but Mackey Sasser had that problem, and several other catchers. Yeah. Catchers, and I've read some articles about it, and I think a lot of studies have traced these throwing mental blocks to injuries to the shoulder area.
Yeah, I wonder about foul tips.
Yeah. The hot shot up the middle, backhanded. Altuve gets scope. That's out number one. I think, you take a foul ball to the shoulder, a collarbone, and the studies have shown you might be thinking about that now. It's a little sore. It's bothering you, so you put a little more thought into using it on throws, and if it doesn't work out, it can become a mental block.
Certainly sounds reasonable. I wouldn't even be surprised if the foul tips to the mask create something that it's untraceable.
Yeah.
But that little bit of mental issue, then you'd have to look at other players like Steve Sachs and Chuck Knobloch, who had it, who would not have had that sort of thing happen.
Right. Strike one to Caleb Joseph. Fran Healy had that problem, didn't he? Throwing.
I don't recall. Ray Fosse had an issue. It's never been talked about, but there was some sort of a thing going on that prevented him from throwing right away, and he'd pump it repeatedly. I will acknowledge that late in my career, I had some of that pop up on me. I never ever talked about it. I just tried to keep it under wraps.
Yeah.
But it's in the head for me anyway.
Well, it's terrible to watch a player with that.
Yeah. Rick Ankiel, the pitcher,
Yeah.
who came up with that, and he's not the only one. I had one, and I can't recall his name right now, who played in the major leagues and then came and played independent ball for me. And the only thing we could eventually do was bring him down to a sidearm delivery, and it changed. It somehow refocused things, and he was able to throw for a while there. Then it crept back in.
Markakis the batter after the strikeout of Joseph. Markakis has a double and a walk. Well, in the case of Mackey Sasser, he would sometimes walk almost halfway out to the mound to toss the ball back to the pitcher because he really could not throw from home plate to the mound.
Well, there are some catchers in the game today that if you watch them, they just kind of backspin the ball. It's just a little soft lob from the elbow, and it's my hunch, having been in those shoes a little bit myself, that something's going on, and they prefer not talking about it, and I don't blame them.
Nope. Three balls, no strikes to Markakis from Jerome Williams. And there's a walk to Markakis. He's on for the third time. That's the fourth base on balls for Astros pitching in this game. And they had been marvelous in preventing walks. They didn't walk anybody Thursday night in the 3-1 Houston win. They walked one last night in the 2-1 win. David Lowe is the batter. He came in defensively in left field for Steve Pearce. He is a defensive wizard, formerly with the Kansas City Royals. Frequently see his body flying around in the highlights of great plays in the outfield.
Played some center field for them and right field, and really did a spectacular job.
161, no homers, 3 runs batted in for David Lowe, who's 28 years old, from Akron, Ohio. And last year he had 315 at bats with Kansas City. He hit 286. Traded for Danny Valencia over the winter. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Orioles have put the defensive metrics to work, and they really liked what he could add to their defensive club with his range in the outfield, and that was one of the major reasons they wanted to make that deal. And so they'll use him in the late innings with a lead, usually, as they are today. Foul back.
Yeah, if a guy could hit 280 in Kansas City, I would think that he'd do as well or better playing in Baltimore. But sometimes you make that switch and it just doesn't click for a year or so.
Yeah. It's interesting, though, the defensive metrics are really coming into more prominence, right?
Absolutely. They're all based on a lot of subjectivity, though.
Zach Britton is warming up for Baltimore now. They try to measure range factor.
For me, that's an eye thing for somebody who's been around the game a long time. And then you're not going to be dead on the money. But that's a hard one to think. So who is determining the range of this player, and how are they doing it?
Yeah, so they'll take a line drive to left center field and see who catches it and who doesn't catch it. But does the ball hit exactly the same way? And where did he start with his position?
Now, if I have Craig Biggio or Enos Cabell, for example, here with the Astros, watching players all the time, I'm going to trust exactly what they say in terms of this guy can or can't cover ground.
Struck him out looking. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning, and it's 4-1 Baltimore. To you by AT&T, mobilizing your world. We go inside Minute Maid Park, where it's 4-1. The Orioles lead the Astros. They've doubled up the hit total of Houston, 8-4. Fans are hoping for a furious bottom of the 9th inning. Zach Britton comes out of the bullpen, the lefty for Baltimore, with a 3-run lead. 1 inning to go. That makes it a save situation for him in 22 games. He's 3-0 with an ERA below 1 and a whip below 1.
I guess 17 hits allowed in 28 and 2/3 innings, and walking 9 in that span. That's extremely effective work.
He was a 3rd-round draft choice in 06 from Panorama City, Louisiana. Lives in Weatherford, Texas. Last year he made 7 starts for Baltimore and 1 relief appearance. He was a starter at AAA Norfolk, but converted to relief work this season, and that has gone, as you can tell from those numbers, marvelously well for the Birds. He went 12 appearances without giving up a run. Just got his most recent save 5 days ago at Milwaukee, and the Orioles win there. Now faces Matt Dominguez. And there's ball 1. Domingo has been on twice. He was hit by a pitch and he walked. Ryan Webb in 1 1/3 innings, allowed no hits, no runs. He had no walks and struck out 2. Jesus Guzman on deck to pinch hit for Krause. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Britton pitched a scoreless inning against the Astros in Baltimore, May 10th. Came in with the score tied 2-2 in the 8th inning. He was an 11-game winner for Baltimore in 2011. Made 28 starts. Now 2 balls, 1 strike. Hutter was the closer earlier this season before getting that groin injury. It's out to right center field. Adam Jones going for it. He picks it up and now drops it. Here's Dominguez. He still can't get to second, though, on the quick recovery by Jones. Dominguez with a single, and that takes his hitting streak to a 5-game streak.
And a wise choice by Matt Dominguez, hanging there. Need base runners right now. It's pretty, and Matt does have that ability to go the other way. And he can do it with pop. Not sure why Adam Jones went sans glove on that effort, but all in all was fine in the end.
Jesus Guzman now is the pinch hitter for Mark Krause. 206 for Jesus. 2 homers, 4 runs batted in. Krause was 0 for 3. The Astros had the worst pinch hit batting average in the American League, .074 as a team. And Britton deals for strike 1. Guzman has 97 at bats. As a pinch hitter, he's 1 for 8 with 1 RBI. As a team, the Astros 2 for 27 pinch hitting. Chris Carter's on deck with Presley Due up next. Well, Guzman, it's about a half swing in and falls behind 0-2 now. If he can get on, then Carter would represent the potential tying run in this game. Strike 3 call. Guzman is retired, 1 out.
It's a little bit of a snatch from the catcher right here. Watch him snatch it back. And that really shouldn't buy anything. You're looking as an umpire at the pitch itself, but that snatch indicates to me that, at least in the mind of Joseph, the catcher, that maybe it was a bit inside.
Now pinch hitting for Presley, who was 0 for 2 and was hit by a pitch. Here's Chris Carter. Carter's a 193 hitter. Ground ball, and here's Hardy tossing to Scope, and Scope over to Davis to end it. And Baltimore snapped a 4-game losing streak, also ending the Astros 7-game winning streak. Final score 4-1. Britton getting save number 4. Tillman, the winner, goes to 5-2. Final score: Baltimore 4, Houston 1.